And these phases are based off sentiment, right? So that's important to understand before we get into this, that market psychology has a massive impact on price across all asset classes. And at gameoftrades.net, we want to take advantage of that as much as possible in our investing and our trading, and that's what we teach to our members. So we start off with the stealth phase. This is where the smart money starts to come into that asset class, and the biggest characteristic is that you finally start to have an uptrend, right? Before that, it's a downtrend or a sideways consolidation, and then you start to make higher highs, and that's something different. That's the first part of the cycle. Then you have the awareness phase. Institutional investors come in and you start to see some bigger moves. It gets a little bit overbought and you have the first sell-off, which we call the bear trap. And that's where sentiment goes from being very bullish after that big first run and starts to get bearish right here. And then you have that last phase, that mania phase, where you start to have the delusion, the greed. So now let's take a look at silver and where it is currently in its market cycle. So this is a weekly chart of silver, and there's multiple ways of looking at this chart, but we're going to take it step by step through the lens that we see the precious metal cycle go through. So we have the stealth phase right here, where you've got the price making higher highs for the first time in quite a while. Right before that, we had a multi-decade bear market on silver, where we had lower lows and lower highs, and all of a sudden in 2001 you've got a higher low, and then a higher high, and then another higher high, and then in 2011 you start to get the silver market really get overheated, and that's the awareness phase. And right at that moment is the drop, the bear trap of the cycle, where sentiment goes from hyper bullish to hyper bearish. And I want to quickly show you the sentiment on gold here, just to show you what I'm talking about. You can see the sentiment was bullish throughout this entire period, and then you had that sell-off, right? The bear trap throughout this period, where you had the sentiment drop down here and start to get bearish. Now we're picking it back up, and that's called the resumption. And you know what the next phase is? It's the mania phase. I'm going to explain to you guys why the stars are aligned for that mania phase to occur and silver to head into price discovery in 2022. That is something that we expect to happen, and I'm going to take it step by step. First of all, we're going to take a look at the previous silver bull market and see if we have any similarities. Then we're going to talk about inflation and monetary policy to see if that's aligned with higher silver prices. Then we're going to take a look at the technical picture, and then the gold silver ratio. And those are the 4 points that suggest that silver is going to be heading higher over the next couple of years. Now, if you're so far enjoying this video, make sure to give us a like. It helps our videos out massive. Silver right now is looking extremely bullish. We are making a series of higher lows right there, and that is a sign of accumulation. It means the buyers are willing to pay higher and higher prices as time goes on for silver. And so that's a bullish structure. We have a very powerful move here. Sentiment got overheated, the move got overextended, and now we have a sideways period of consolidation with a healthy price pattern. That is all good news. That is all bullish for silver. Now, if we zoom out to the weekly chart and take a look at what's happening on the MACD here, again, we have a very strong move here. And now we're working off those overbought conditions, coming back down to that zero line where we'll likely find support and resume the leg up. So we could still have some more consolidation over the next few weeks before eventually resuming higher on silver. And why am I using this as an example? We can take a look at the previous big run on silver during the first part of the bull market. We had very similar price action, right? We have a big move on silver right here, and then you have a sideways period of consolidation where you've got the MACD come back to the zero line before resuming its uptrend and eventually making another big move up. Big move up on the MACD, comes back down to the zero line before making that next big move up. Now here we had the financial crisis, so we did have a bigger drop, but we do expect this type of price action right now if everything goes well and we don't have an insolvency crisis throughout 2021. We do expect this type of price action to happen in 2020. Now I want to quickly take a look at the gold silver ratio for that last point of the bullish case on why silver is going to do so well over the next few years, and that is silver tends to outperform in the final phases of bull markets. And I'm going to show you what I mean here. In 2011, on that final move up on silver, I'm going to put up the chart of silver on here. You had two big spikes of silver, and towards the end of big runs in precious metals, you start to see silver outperform massively. And so here you have that big spike of silver right here, big speculative phase of the bull market. So could we see a move down to that 30 level and see a 100% outperformance of silver to gold? Absolutely.